Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Matiang'i led high-powered delegation of Gusii leaders to Opoda Farm. In this video, I want us to talk about that particular visit, because if you are to ask me, that visit is significant politically speaking. Matiang'i was received by Mama Raila Odinga herself, and Matiang'i was accompanied by Professor Sam Ongeri. We all know who Sam Ongeri is as far as Gusii politics is concerned. Matiang'i was also accompanied by the former cabinet secretary Ezekiel Muchogo. Muchogo was William Ruto's point person for the Gusii region during the last election. So I want us to analyze the whole visit.
There are many of us who share in your loss. It may be singular to you in a particular way, but collectively as a country and as a society, we share the loss of Mzee, but we also celebrate him in this process because there are very few people who in their life on this earth are able to make the kind of impact that Prime Minister Raila Odinga made. May God strengthen you, may God comfort you, and may the Lord walk with you.
But there are a few things which I noted during that visit. The first thing was the gifts which Fred Matiang'i presented to Mama Ida. There were bananas and other foodstuffs, which is normal in an African setup. But there was the portrait of Matiang'i and Raila Odinga, which caused huge political storm in Kenya after they emerged. Most Kenyans felt that Matiang'i wanted to take advantage of Raila Odinga's death to also sell himself alongside Raila Odinga. If you are to ask me, Raila is a brand. Nothing wrong with aligning with that brand. But Matiang'i's intention, in my view, was not about that. Matiang'i wanted to prove to everybody that he worked with Raila Odinga and that he respected Raila Odinga. And you can clearly tell from that particular photo. He wanted to portray an image of a son who is visiting the father. That's how I interpreted that photo. So if the photo will be hanged somewhere in the Odinga's family, let's say in the grave there or wherever, it will serve that purpose. The second thing which I noted was that Matiang'i opted to go with Gusii leaders and not as Jubilee member. Because most people had expected that Matiang'i was going to go with a delegation of Jubilee leaders, including people say like Jeremiah Kioni. So by doing that, Matiang'i didn't want to make this event a political event. He wanted to make it a community event. Brothers, neighbors, because you know, Nyanza, because you know, Kisii is part of Nyanza, Luo is part of Nyanza. So they are brothers. So he wanted to make it kind of a brotherly visit. And that's why he didn't tag along those Jubilee leaders. Because remember, Matiang'i is being fronted by none other than Uhuru Kenyatta to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. And the fact that he opted to go with purely Gusii leaders, it meant Matiang'i wanted to cement his relationship or the relationship between the Kisii community and the Luo community. But just like I keep on saying on this platform, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. The fact that Matiang'i decided to go to Bondo is significant for several reasons. Before I do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, my thoughts are as follows. Number one, Matiang'i's visit is about regional politics. The Luo nation and the Gusii region. The Gusii community stood with Raila Odinga through thick and thin, including after the last election, when Kenyans were demonstrating against cost of living. We all remember that at that time, William Ruto had been sworn into office. He was already there. Raila Odinga decided to organize the Suffragette movement. And the government tried so hard to make the event appear as if it was a Luo affair. The brothers from the Gusii community decided that was not going to happen. Many people, many leaders, including Osoro, including Zahir Zanda, were sent to the ground to actually buy people from going to the streets. What happened shocked the entire country. The Gusii community stood with Raila Odinga. They took the trophy on that day. So that's exactly what Matiang'i is trying to do, cementing the regional politics, the Gusii community and the Luo community. Because remember, when Raila Odinga went into the broad-based government, Fred Matiang'i declared his bid. So Matiang'i is now with the Gusii community on that other path. And the political opinion is that the Luo nation were going to follow Raila Odinga to William Samoei Arap Ruto. And therefore, these two communities were going to speak different language. Matiang'i is telling the country that we are brothers, and that's why he came symbolically with bananas. He came symbolically with that image. So that's number one, regional politics. Number two, and I think most of you guys might have forgotten, I think Matiang'i decided to come as a thank you to Raila Odinga. Matiang'i has never hidden the fact that when he was being arrested, when he was being targeted, the man who stood by him, the man who braved the cold in the night to go and stand with him, was none other than Raila Odinga. Even members of his community could not do that. How do you thank such kind of an individual? You lead that huge delegation. In fact, that delegation, it passed through Kisumu here. It was a huge delegation. So I think Matiang'i also wanted maybe, and I'm not so sure, but maybe in his mind he thought, this guy really came through for me. Maybe I've not done enough for him. Let me just go and show my last respect. Let me carry my brothers and sisters. So for me, it was about the Baba intervening when he was being arrested. Can I refresh your memory about that?
To him. And then he can even go and present himself to the police officer and for interrogation and record a statement. But this idea of arresting senior citizens at this hour of the night is something that is completely repugnant to civilization.
It's unacceptable.
This is completely unacceptable in our society. But I have said, and I will repeat it in a day, we are dealing with an illegal regime, a regime that usurps power against the will of the people of Kenya, imposed on the people of Kenya by one rogue Mr. Wafula Chebukati. That's why we are seeing what's happening here today. But the people of Kenya will not take this lying down. The people of Kenya must resist imposition of a legal regime on them, which now want to use the power of the police to terrorize this country. It is completely unacceptable. It will not be accepted, and we will not allow it to happen, not only to Mr. Matiang'i, but to anybody else. So we are here. We will stand with Mr. Matiang'i and anybody else to ensure that the law of this country is respected.
Thank you very much.
Number three, I'm also looking at Matiang'i trying to position himself for Luo support post Raila Odinga. The truth of the matter is that Raila Odinga is gone. And according to Luo leaders, Raila Odinga left them in government. Matiang'i wants to run for the presidency. The Luo leaders are saying, we are going to support William Ruto's re-election bid. So what is Matiang'i trying to do? Matiang'i is trying to appeal to the Luo nation. That even as you think about supporting Ruto, I'm also here. I'm also your brother. Raila is now gone. I'm the one now left here. So by leading that huge delegation, purely Kisi, or Gusi for that matter, he was trying to appeal directly to the Luo nation.
We look forward, many of us, to the development of the Prime Minister Raila Odinga's institute, or library, but a much bigger institution that will capture the reality of his large contribution to our life. And Mama and Junior say they are thinking about things, and we said, fair enough. When that time comes, as they think through, we will very gladly be part of that journey as members of the family of this region, members of the family of Kenya, because Prime Minister Raila Odinga was focused on Project Kenya, not Project Nyanza or Project Corner of some kind. He was focused on our country as a nation, and we will contribute as nationals of Kenya, and especially nationals of Kenya from this part of our country, to that big vision, to that effort of immortalizing the contribution and the life of Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So, my brother Junior, thank you so much. I know for sure that there's a way in which your loss is singular, and that we can't pretend that words and speeches will alleviate that. But we pray that you find comfort in the fact that collectively you have seen the love that is being expressed around for your father, and that will encourage you. And we pray that the Lord comforts you, and that the Lord shines His face upon you and walks with you in this journey of life from where Mzee left you. And at any time you need a shoulder to lean on as we carry on with this life. Life is what it is. We will be here as your brothers and sisters to walk with you in our small mortal way that the Lord may enable us to. Thank you so much indeed, and all the best.
That in this region, we are brothers, we are sisters. So for me, it's about the post-Raila Odinga politics, the Luo support. He's seeking it. Maybe through this, you never know, the Luo nation might start thinking differently about Matiang'i's bid. Number 4, and I think this is something which most people did not take note of. When Matiang'i arrived in Bondo during the burial day, he was widely cheered. I think he never even expected that to happen. And because Kenyans were mourning, he decided, okay, let that pass. I'll come again to thank the people of Bondo for that warm reception. This is a politician. That's exactly what he's doing, thanking the people indirectly that I came. And that's why you could clearly see him mingling freely with the people of Bondo during that visit. And lastly, there is also the Uhuru Kenyatta factor. And the fact is, when Mama Ida Odinga spoke during the burial of Raila Odinga, Mama Ida talked so good of Uhuru Kenyatta. He referred to Uhuru Kenyatta as a true friend to Raila Odinga. Remember, by the time Mama Ida Odinga was making that statement, Opiyo Wandayi had really attacked Uhuru Kenyatta, that they know who their true friends are. Then Mama Ida came and said, Uhuru, you are true friend of Raila Odinga. And after the burial, the first person we saw the next day around Raila Odinga's grave was none other than Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru spent his night in Siaya. He's the guy pushing for Matiang'i. So I think Matiang'i is also trying to take advantage of that, the Uhuru factor, showing companionship. I don't know what you think, but for me, that's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.